and the true word moves swiftly from the ear to the heart, and the heart to the world around us. Let's walk together this morning. We're in the city. Our beloved Jerusalem. It's in turmoil today. There are 200,000 people who have crowded into the city, all vying for something to eat, all vying for something to stay. That's 5 times the normal population of the city, and it's crowded for the Passover festival. The city has been shaken as though an earthquake had happened. Jesus is coming. This miracle worker from Galilee, the one who raises people from the dead, the one who causes the blind to see, the one who purges the lepers of their disease, and the one who dines with outcasts and the despised. There's a sense of tension in the air, and there's a buzz so thick we can feel it. The east gate of the city is massive. It's 100 feet high, and it's shaped like a keyhole into which nobody's really figured out where to find the key to unlock her secrets. It rises above the crowded plaza, and it's dazzling white in the morning sun. The near blinding light and the daytime heat just adds to our sense of claustrophobia as we're hemmed in with so many people. And thousands of people keep streaming to the city up the east-facing road. Peasants, the poor, the lame and the sick, all hoping to catch a glimpse of the Holy One that everybody was talking about, Jesus of Nazareth. The west gate on the other side of the city is dark and massive. It's shaded from the morning sun. There are a few hundred folks milling around there, but they're not the poor. They're not the destitute. They're the rich and the privileged, dressed in the finest of purple cloth and robes of sumptuous crimson so dark that from a small way off, it's the color of blood. There's tension in the air there too, because the city's full of ragamuffin derelicts who have limped or ridden or been carried in from the surrounding countryside, basically country folk who don't understand us townies. They're interlopers, and they don't belong in our city. Anything could happen today. So it's a good thing that the magistrate is coming. It's a good thing that he's called in the army. And you can tell that he has because there are sentries, there are archers on all of the parapets and all of the towers surrounding the city, ready to take care of anybody who would dare step out of line. One can't be too careful when it comes to riffraff. It's important to be visible in that western plaza this morning because the Supreme Governor Pilate is coming back from a visit to Rome. His ship has landed at Caesarea Maritima, and he's making his way to the city. He'll take control of the situation. And finally, Pilate's entourage appears from the West Road, and the governor is mounted on a splendid war horse, bedecked in battle armor, and preceded by a forest of tribunes and banners. As Pilate enters the West Plaza, a round of polite applause breaks out from among the gathered dignitaries. A few of the ladies clutch flowers, purchased for a few coins from the paupers in the flower market, and they toss them before the plodding hooves of Pilate's steed. They continue to carpet the huge, flat plaza stones as the lines of chariots and soldiers make their way through the gate, up the hill into the city, to the governor's palace. The atmosphere has been relatively quiet up to now. But from the western gate, we hear something strange. A roar rising up into the air as of 1,000 sparks from a huge bonfire. A cacophony of bellowing from the east distant gate. But that bellowing is mixed with singing and shouts of praise. people are using the Hosanna word. The Hosanna word, save me. What's going on? Surely Pilate couldn't have gotten to the east gate already. And even so, why would he enter the western gate just to exit the eastern gate? What's going on? We stand at the eastern gate, and the noise of the crowd becomes deafening as he approaches. It's Jesus. We can't see him yet over the heads of the mob, but we know where he is by the upheld palm branches thrashing the air in sequence along the road as he gets closer. Everybody is shouting at the top of their lungs, begging to catch the eye of the Savior, the miracle worker. We recoil as the guy next door shouts to us, Jesus, save my dying mother. And another one shouts, Jesus, help me find some money so I can live. And another, Jesus, get this Roman scum off our back. Many scream, Hosanna, save me, pleading, with tears in their eyes. The woman in front of us is nodding her head as this is happening and turns back to catch our gaze to say, this is the Messiah who's going to make these blood-sucking Romans pay for their imperial attitude. He's close enough we can see him now. He's close enough we can see him. But riding on a donkey? This is the Messiah? Le nouveau roi? The new king, the Messiah, who is going to save us? Where's the mighty steed? Where are the banners, the musicians, the acrobats, and the paid praise givers that one would expect of an arriving king? Is this the person who will toss the Romans out on their Latin ear? The crowd keeps waving their palm branches and shouting their petitions, but there's a murmuring rising in the crowd. Is this the Messiah we've been waiting for? And off to our right, there's a lone voice of a little old man who's seated because he can't stand. You can barely hear him. But he's saying, wait everybody, wait. Have you forgotten the holy books? It's written in Zechariah that the Messiah will come humble and riding on a donkey. The scriptures say that he will cut off the chariot from Ephraim and the war horse from Jerusalem. It's written. This will happen. But the crowd ignores it. And they continue to shout their personal petitions for help and benefit. Then it hits me. It hits us all. Pilate, governor, Roman enforcer, holder of the sword, ruler of life and over life and death in the community, is arriving to the city by the west gate at exactly the same time that Jesus enters the city via the east gate. Oh no. Please God, no. No. We see it now. This isn't just about a parade and an expose of misplaced adoration to Jesus. That's not just what this is about. This is about a titanic and prophetic collision between the Anointed One, the Son of Man, and the darkest corners of the human heart. This is a collision between the very essence of life and death itself. This is a collision that was prophesied. And this is a collision that will change everything forever. We turn away from the procession with that thought on our hearts, unable to watch it anymore. Our hearts filled with knowing that something terrible is about to happen in this collision, and yet we also know that something forever beautiful is also going to happen as a result, whatever it might be. We misunderstood him, and yet we see him now. We're drawn to know who he really is. It'd be all too easy to start walking eastward away from the gate and simply go home and let somebody else worry about it. But we can't. Love will not release us. Whatever happens, we have to be there. And come what may, we must be witness to the triumph that will unfold. The ultimate triumph of truth over evil. And the vanquishing of sin by God's unrelenting love. So, let's go. Let's go together. Just exactly as you are. Let's walk into the city of Jerusalem and follow him. And be witness to the unfolding of God's great purpose.